If you're a dude who watches corn and you struggle to get it up with women, you don't deserve a girlfriend at all. And I'm gonna explain exactly why. Now, I've gone over 500 plus days on NoFap and even cured my corn induced ED. I mean, if you're watching this, you're one of these dudes who you're struggling with the PIED, the corn induced ED. Man, you don't deserve a partner. I'm gonna be honest, right? A lot of people want to be positive all the time. They want to have this, empowering message that things will get better, that you can change for the better. But today I'm here to bring you a message that is real, right? And that message is you don't deserve a partner, right? Now, you got to understand that the world, right, and in this life, you get everything that you do, equal and opposite will come back to you, right? And it's just the universal law, right? And when we look at things and you think about this, right? If you're struggling with this addiction, right? You probably been struggling for a lot of years, and it affects your ability to get or maintain, get it up in the bedroom, right? You got to understand that how can you go ahead and say you deserve, a good looking girlfriend or a partner or all of these things, and you can't even discipline yourself and change your own habits, right? At the end of the day, what you're doing is being a leader, right? If you're in a relationship, women want men who can lead them in the direction that they want to go. And you being a person who your habits are not on point, right? Your health is clearly not on point, right? And these two things are probably a reflection of a ton of different other areas of your life. Why do you think you deserve a high quality woman or high quality partner? As people say nowadays. And then also people talk about, like how do you think that is even going to work for you? Right? Now, as someone who's gone the distance, right, and improved my lifestyle, improved my habits, right, was able to fix this problem, I understand firsthand that there's a type of delusional mentality that a lot of men have, right, where they just think they haven't really done much in life, right? Their income is probably nothing crazy. Their habits are poor, right? Maybe they're not in the best shape, and there are obviously exceptions to the rules, but if any of those apply to you, you got to understand and look yourself in the mirror, right? And that was one of the hardest things that I had to do, and a lot of men need to do, is look themselves in the mirror and see, what is my actual value to society, and especially women, right? The three main factors, right, are looks, money, status, right? And you got to understand, right? Even with looks, right, and looks maxing, all of these trends, that's only going to get you so far, right? Looks can get you in the door, but you need to be a man of substance and really character to be able to take things to the next level, right? So then you have things like status, right? Status, I mean, you got to make the money. Sure, some of you, you might have a decent job, but if you really want, the money, right? It's going to take things like delayed gratification, right? It's going to take things like you having to lock in on something for a long period of time, gain those skills, put in the work, and become that type of person, right? That's all it is. It's about possessing those character traits to reach that level. And we talk about money. How are you going to do that if your habits are in the dumpster, right? We're literally talking about the foundation, which is delayed gratification. But every time, you get home, you had a long day. What do? You go crank the rooster, right? And then you feel terrible about yourself and you wonder why you're stuck in this cycle again and again, right? And then, of course, status. Now, status can accompany a lot of different things, right? Maybe, right? It has a lot. Maybe even social media, you can have status, right? You could have status in the workplace, all of these different things. But if you're not confident within, right? And true confidence is built, it's built on your own, right? It's not about the external, about, and sorry, I was fixing my earplug here. It's not about the external, what you do here, what you do there. That real confidence is built right from within, right? And it's about keeping the promises that you make to yourself, right? And when we talk about these promises, a lot of you guys are saying, man, I got to go no fap 30 days, 60 days, all these different things. And when you can't even keep the promises to yourself, how do you think anyone else is going to respect you, right? How are you going to build that status if you're struggling with these problems, right? And I know it's hard to hear because a lot of dudes, again, you have this delusional mindset that, man, I just deserve a good looking partner. All these things should kind of, be handed to me because I'm a great guy. I'm a great guy, right? There's a lot of great guys out there, right? And you got to understand, if you're distracted by all these things, and you don't have control of your time, right, and your energy, right, and your attention, all these things that are some of your most valuable resources, how do you think and why do you think that you deserve a better partner? Right? So you really got to clear the delusion from your mind and be open and honest about your situation, right? And the truth is this: you've been struggling with, watching corn and the adult content for years, right? Years. Things may have escalated every now and then, but for the most part, you struggled, right? And then of course that leads into just struggling with women, right? Your confidence is at an all-time low, and you want to get that mojo back, right? But don't treat this like you don't have to put in any type of work to get the end result that you want, right? Because if you want that partner, all of those things that I mentioned, looks, money, status, right? The whole looks maxing trend, all of this stuff, sure, you can become more attractive. But what the most important thing to do is be a man of substance, right? Be a man that people can rely on and depend on. And when someone needs really the true definition of man is showing up when people need him most, right? And you being a man, right? What shows what you truly want in this life, right, is your actions. At the end of the day, people say things all the time. Man, I speak to so many dudes that say, man, I want to fix this for good. This is, I'm so committed to fixing this, all these things. But you got to understand, right? The difference between the people who, write a goal down and achieve the goal that they want and the people who kind of stay stuck and in the same place is that they take action on what they learn, right? And taking action and also reflecting on what you learned will really separate you, right? And being able to fail and sit in that and keep taking action and keep going, right? Because this journey is not going to be easy, right? And a lot of people are lying to you, saying that, they almost want to take advantage of this naivety that you have, that, you can get all these things out of life that you want, and, oh, just do this hack or this tactic and this will get you there. When, think about it, you've probably been trying to do that, even trying to quit the corn, and it still hasn't worked for you all this time, right? You've been trying all these hacks, all these different things. When you have to look yourself in the mirror and be honest about your situation and where you're at, right? And it's hard, it's ugly, it's not going to feel good, right? It's going to be painful. And know that, in order to fix this problem, it's going to take pain, right? You can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Life does not work like that at all, right? And understand that what you prioritize, right, and those actions, this should be your biggest concern, right? The fact that you're in a position right now where you're unsure if you can have a long-lasting relationship, have children, right? Have all these things. Man, there should just be a red alarm, a fire going off in your brain that says, man, I need to solve this ASAP. Because what else is more important? We talk about leaving your legacy on this earth, right? And really being someone that people can look up to. Is anyone really going to be proud or looking up to a dude who struggles with this, right? Who struggles to do all of those things, right? The answer is no. It's absolutely not. But you can change, right? And a lot of dudes, right, they're gonna maybe put in work for a week, maybe 2 weeks, but they're gonna fall off, right? And they're gonna get distracted by all these things. but you can absolutely change, right? You can rewrite your story, and you don't have to be this way, right? You can literally become whoever you want to be, right? But it starts about the beliefs that you have in your own mind about your situation, right? Dudes tell me all the time, oh yeah, I heard this takes, 120 days to fix, 90 days to fix. Oh, it takes, 30 days for every year you were addicted. All these things that they've read online, and they're just throwing out there, right? And the thing is, man, you gotta slow down, right? Right? People say things all the time. It doesn't make it true just because one person had, this experience and that's their opinion, right? Or even multiple people, right? Because you're an individual and you're different, right? But if you can change the beliefs that you hold about your situation, right, and understand that at any point in time you can change it, you can change, right? You can go from the guy who struggles with women, or who struggles with performing, right, bedroom performance, to literally a god, basically, in the bedroom, and just a 10 out of 10 dude, per se, right? You can literally do that, but it's going to take changing what you're doing right now and realizing that what you're doing and the actions that have led you up to watching this video and consuming this type of content have kept you stuck in the same exact place you've always been. And what you can do is take action. Now, if you're a dude who wants to fix this for good, right? You don't want to have this constant worrying and anxiety about performing, right? And you want to finally be in these relationships, right? And be happy and healthy. You want all of these things. Click the link in the description, book a call with me. Let's see how we can help you, how I can help you solve this problem, and so you can avoid all the trial and error, wasting years struggling with this when we can solve it for you much faster. Now, click the link in the description, man. If you learned something new, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm out.